Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Email me directly for pricing. My email address is tmosso@thewatchbox.com. Today, we're discussing an 11-piece limited edition in stainless steel, launched in 2016. This is the Greubel Forsey Signature 1. The Signature 1 is the combined product of Greubel Forsey's in-house standards and resources with watchmaker Didier Cretin, a member of the Greubel Forsey watchmaking team, who was given the opportunity to create a watch that represented his undivided vision, undilute, of the perfect fine watch. And this watch proves you can have both opulence and simplicity in tandem, coexisting in a single 41.4 millimeter case. So this timepiece is 41.4 millimeters in diameter by 11.9 millimeters thick by 48.8 millimeters from lug tip to lug tip, with a 21 millimeter spacing between the lugs. We'll zoom out a little bit, throw it on my wrist, which is 16 centimeters in circumference. The size makes this watch a standout among Greubel Forsey products. Now, they tend to like the philosophy of more is more, whereas this watch proves sometimes less is more. It's certainly more wearable on a smaller wrist, as I could wear this watch on a wrist as small as 14 centimeters circumference, and I can rarely say that of the 44, 45, and 47 millimeter Greubel Forsey complications. You can see it's low enough to fit underneath a dress cuff, and it is a good dress option with two hands and considerable grace. You can see down the barrel, I've got plenty of clearance on each side of my wrist, and there's the cuff shot one more, and there's the over-the-top shot. I've got some clearance on both sides. Taking a look at the hardware and the software. Soft first. Large rectangular scale alligator leather matte finish. It has a folded edge, a monotone stitch, a little bit of bolstering to give it volume, and you can see that the lugs are drilled close to the case, and then curved spring bars are used so you can pull the strap straight down. There's no impediment to its motion, so if you have that smaller wrist, you can pull straight down around. It doesn't have any fight, flare, or stiffness to it. We have a Greubel pin buckle in satin finish and polish, a thoughtful accessory for a simple watch that's easily adjusted on the fly. Classic blended lug profiles, horizontal satin finish on the lugs in flank. Satin finish, as you can see, we have satin horizontal, satin down the tops, and then a transitional bevel that's polished. The case back is polished, the lip of the bezel is polished, and those bound the mid-case and define its range. We have a Greubel Forsey lacquered GF logo crown with a sharp and pleasing knurling, and then a hybrid domed and conical bezel that gives way to a large and open watch face. I don't want to call it the dial, because the dial is there and limited in scope. We may as well start with the dial, however. The hands are 18 karat gold, and they've been rhodiumed to turn them bright silver white. The dial itself, the black disc, that is a black galvanized solid gold dial disc. So the richness starts with that. Just south of the dial, you have a white gold lacquered plate. 6 out of 11. That's actually my birthday, 6/11. So this is a very exclusive watch. You can see that the balance is the focal point of the dial, or I should say again, the watch face. We have constant seconds subsidiary, and then we have an enormous faceted and black polished balance bridge. So with a free sprung balance and a full balance bridge, this is a reasonably shock tolerant watch. Greubel Forsey uses a recessed bolt variable polar moment balance of enormous size, and you can see it's beating away at the aesthetically pleasing rate of 18,000 vibrations per hour. It also uses a handmade overcoil, so in any physical position with respect to gravity, the hairspring beats concentrically because its mass is centered, so the watch keeps good time in any position. Now you can see that black polished balance really is the star. Every screw, and we'll start with the screws at the edge of the balance, but every screw has a black polished top and then a chamfered slot and chamfered circumference. And you can see every facet of that balance bridge has been black polished. You can also see that the bridge underneath it has been satinated, and then on its side, mirror bevels turn into sharp interior angles at the end of the bridge just below the balance. And you can see that bridge helps to keep the escapement in place and located. There is a drivetrain of wheels, all of which feature interior beveling of their spokes and their inner circumference. This is a level of detail that even many Geneva hallmark movements fail to apply Why? Because it's expensive, it's time-consuming. Greubel Forsey has about 100 employees in their Le Chaux de Fonds factory to make about 100 to 120 watches a year, and you need that many employees per watch when you're finishing to these standards. You could see the underlying ratchet mechanism for the barrels, entirely black polished. That's specular finish known as poly noir in the language of Le Chaux de Fonds. You can see there are individual finger trains leading down to the escapement. This is a nod to the pocket watch era. So is the use of gilded gold chaton to hold the pivot jewels. That's another nod to the pocket watch era of watchmaking. The bridges are made of nickel copper zinc, sometimes known as maillot, which is often called German silver when used in a langa. This is the same material. You can see it's been frosted, probably with the use of a wire brush, and then on its edges it has been mirror beveled with bevels a mile wide. You don't need a loop to appreciate them. And again, those sharp interior angles where two bevels meet. The base plate, as you can see, has been frosted and gilded rose gold, making it aesthetically pleasing. And then the click, usually an afterthought in most watches, is part of the theater of this one. It looks good, it sounds great, it feels superb, and you can see we have a combination of bridges with Côte de Genève, a mile wide and incredibly luminous and gradiated, and then we have that frosted finish, along with handsome mirrored beveling on the edges of the bridges. Their side profiles are alternately satinated on the verticals and polished on the bevels. It is a very beautiful watch. It has a 54-hour manual wind power reserve, and everything about this timepiece in terms of finish is utterly unforgettable. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details, and I may as well give you a last handful of details, including the 21 jewel architecture and the fact that this watch is 30 meters water resistant. So please, though water resistant to splashes and rain, don't go swimming with it. Time out, Tim out, and thanks for logging on.